Hello students, in the last class we completed the Raoult's law regarding the solid in liquid type of solution where the solid is a non-volatile solute and liquid is a volatile solvent. But in today's lecture we are going to discuss the liquid in liquid type of solution where both the liquids are volatile, that means solute is volatile as well as a solvent is also volatile liquid. Okay. Now, a solution of two completely soluble or miscible volatile liquids is called a binary solution. Now, according to Raoult's law, in a liquid type of volatile system, the partial pressure of any component of a solution at a given temperature will be equal to the product of the mole fraction of that component in the solution and its vapor pressure in the pure state. That means the partial pressure of any component, let's suppose component A, will be equal to the product of the mole fraction of that component in the solution multiplied by its vapor pressure in the pure form. Its vapor pressure in the pure form. Are you getting my point? The partial pressure of a component A will be XA and its vapor pressure in the pure state will be P naught A. So partial pressure of A will be equal to mole fraction of A multiplied by its vapor pressure in the pure state. This is the Raoult's law regarding volatile liquids. Are you getting my point? Now here consider a binary solution of two liquids A and B and both are what? Volatile. Okay. Let's suppose A is more volatile than the liquid B. That means the vapor pressure of a component A will be greater than the component B in the pure state. Let's assume it is not always compulsory. If you want to take the B is a more volatile, then you can take B is more volatile than A. Okay, that is only assumption. Okay, now come to what is the vapor pressure of a pure component A? This is called P naught A. So this is P naught A. Okay, and what is the vapor pressure of pure component B? That will be P naught B. Okay. Now what is the number of moles of component A? Na, and component B? Nb. How to find the mole fraction of component A? Xa, given moles upon total moles. That means number of moles of A divided by total number of moles of A and B component. And similarly, what is the mole fraction of component B? Xb, number of moles of B divided by total number of moles of A and B. And what is the vapor pressure of a component in the solution? Pa. What is the vapor pressure of a component A in the solution? Pa, and component B in the solution is what? Pb. Are you getting my point? Now, from Raoult's law, just now I told you the partial pressure of a component, any component in the solution will be equal to the product of the mole fraction of that component in the solution and its vapor pressure in the pure form. Its vapor pressure in the pure form. Similarly, so there are two components. So component A vapor pressure P naught A into Xa and component B vapor pressure in the solution, that is the partial pressure in the solution P naught B into Xb. Now from Dalton's law we know the partial pressure, sum of the partial pressures will be equal to total pressure. So that's why I am writing total pressure will be equal to partial pressure of A plus partial pressure of B. That means so total pressure will be equal to algebraic sum of the partial pressure of the component A and component B. Okay. Now what is the partial pressure of component A? That will be equal to P naught A into Xa and partial pressure of component B will be equal to P naught B into Xb. That's why P total will be equal to P naught A into Xa plus P naught B into Xb. And one more important thing we have to we already know that the sum of the mole fractions of all components in a given solution will be equal to unity. So we are assuming only two components. So that's why the sum of the mole fraction of two components, that is Xa and Xb, will be equal to 1. Okay. From here shall I write Xa is equal to 1 minus Xb or Xb is equal to 1 minus Xa. Now here P total will be equal to P naught A into Xa. Instead of Xa I am writing 1 minus Xb here. Okay. Plus P naught B into Xb. Okay. From here P naught A minus P naught A Xb plus P naught B into Xb. Here what I am doing, I am taking the common Xb. So you will get P naught A, P naught B minus of P naught A. Okay. And here the P naught A. So this is the total pressure of the binary solution, okay, in terms of mole fraction B, XB. Now the above relation shows the graph between the P total. Suppose if you see this expression, in this expression if you see, it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, where y is called the total pressure which is taken on the y axis, and the xb is the mole fraction of component B taken on the x axis, and the slope will be p naught b minus p naught a, and the intercept c on the y axis will be p naught a. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, if you want to convert the mole fraction of xb into mole fraction of xa, so you will get the p total will be equal to p naught b plus xa into p naught a minus of p naught b, since xb is equal to what? 1 minus xa. If you replace the xb, that is equal to 1 minus xa, you will get the p total will be equal to p naught b plus xa into p naught a minus p naught b. Okay, now here there is a graph drawn between the mole fraction versus vapor pressure. Now here this is the straight line, this is the line corresponding to vapor pressure of a pure component B, and this is the line corresponding to vapor pressure of a pure component A. So this is a vapor pressure axis, and this is the mole fraction axis. Let's suppose here I am taking a component A, then the mole fraction of component A will be 0. The mole fraction of component A 0 in the means only you have component B, so that's why you have component B vapor pressure, that is the pure vapor pressure, that is the partial pressure of component B, nothing but the total pressure of component B or total pressure of a solution. Component A will be absent, so only component B is present, that's why it is called pure state of the vapor pressure of a component B. Let's suppose here solution B, here the component B is taken, where the component B has what? Mole fraction 0. That means only component A will be present in the solution. That's why the component B pressure will be equal to the partial pressure or vapor pressure of a component A in the pure state, that will be P naught A. Okay. Now if you see from A to B, if you move from A to B, so what is the mole fraction of A? Gradually increases from 0 to maximum value 1. Okay, because sum of the mole fraction will be equal to what? Maximum value will be equal to 1. Okay, as we move from A to B, what happens? The mole fraction of A, what happens? Decreases. Mole fraction of A decreases means its vapor pressure, partial pressure increases. Mole fraction of A, what happens? Increases. Mole fraction of A, what happens here? Increases. The partial pressure of A is also increases. Are you getting my point? And it will reaches to the maximum value when the mole fraction of A become 1. So that it will be the maximum vapor pressure of the component A. Okay. Let's suppose if you move from B to A, the mole fraction of B gradually increases. So the vapor pressure of B also gradually what happens? Increases, and it reaches to the maximum value where the mole fraction of B equal to unity. Then the vapor pressure of B will be highest value. Okay. Now the straight line 1, this is the straight line 1. The straight line 1 gives the linear relation between the vapor pressure of component A versus its mole fraction. Okay, and this is the straight line 2. This straight line will give the relation between the vapor pressure of a component B versus its mole fraction. Okay, and the next third straight line, this is the straight line which is corresponding to the total pressure of the component A and component B, that is the total pressure of the solution. Okay, now this is the first straight line, this is corresponding to the vapor pressure of a component A. Okay, so PA is equal to P naught A into XA. Okay, if the XA value equal to 1, then PA will be equal to P naught A. So this is the highest value of P naught A. Okay, and the next one, straight line 2, the straight line 2 corresponding to vapor pressure of component B. So PB equal to P naught B into XB. If the XB value equal to 1, then PB will be equal to P naught B. This is the highest value of the partial pressure of the component B. Are you getting my point? Now, what is the total pressure? PA plus PB. This is the total pressure. Straight line 3 corresponding to the total pressure. Okay, straight line 3 corresponding to the P total. P total will be equal to, shall write PA plus PB? Yes. Again Pa nothing but P naught A into XA plus Pb nothing but P naught B into XB. Are you getting my point? Now here how to determine the composition of volatile components in the vapor phase. In vapor phase, here Dalton's law versus Raoult's law. The composition of a vapor is in equilibrium with the solution can be calculated by applying the Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, let's suppose this is a closed container at a given temperature. Liquid A and liquid B both are form a binary solution. So liquid A, liquid B both are volatile. That means liquid A is undergoing vaporization, liquid B is also undergoing vaporization. After a certain time of interval, the vapors will undergo condensation. So evaporation followed by condensation. Okay, now if you see, these are the vapors, these are the vapors. In the vapor phase, Dalton's law is followed, whereas in the solution phase, Raoult's law is followed. In the solution phase, Raoult's law is followed. Now in the vapor phase, let's suppose the mole fraction of component A will be Ya and component B will be Yb. Whereas in the solution phase, the mole fraction of component A will be Xa and component B will be Xb. We know sum of the mole fractions will be always equal to unity. So mole fraction of component A in the vapor phase Ya and component B in the vapor phase Yb equal to unity. And similarly mole fraction of component A Xa and component B Xb in the liquid phase in the solution phase equal to what? Unity. Okay. What is the Raoult's law? Pa equal to P naught A into Xb and Pb equal to P naught B into Xb. That means simply we can say the partial pressure of any volatile component in the solution will be directly proportional to its mole fraction. Directly proportional to its mole fraction. Are you getting my point? By removing the proportionality, I am writing a proportionality constant, that is called vapor pressure of a pure component. Are you getting my point? Now here, what will be the total pressure? Pa plus Pb, nothing but P naught A Xa plus P naught B Xb. Now come to Dalton's law. What is the Dalton's law? According to Dalton's law, a chemically non-reactive mixture of gases at constant temperature and volume, the total pressure exerted by a chemically non-reactive mixture of gases will be equal to the sum of the partial pressure of the component gases. Okay, and one more important definition of a partial pressure, which is equal to the total pressure multiplied by whom? Mole fraction. So liquid A, what will be the partial pressure in the vapor phase? Pa will be equal to total pressure multiplied by its mole fraction in the vapor phase, that is called Ya. And similarly Pb is equal to P total into Yb. Okay. Now from here, what is the Ya? Mole fraction of a liquid component A in the vapor phase will be equal to Pa by P total. Pa by P total. What is the Pa? Pa is nothing but P naught A into Xa divided by P total. And similarly Yb equal to Pb by P total, where Pb equal to P naught B into Xb divided by P total. Okay. Now here, what is the mole fraction of component A? That will be Xa, which is equal to, if you cross multiply here, Ya into P total by P naught A, and Xb is equal to P total into P naught B into Yb. So here Xa plus Xb equal to unity. So instead of Xa, P total by P naught A into Ya and Xb P total by P naught B into Yb, if you replace these two values here and take the P total common here and bring the P total to the right hand side, you will get 1 by P total will be equal to Ya by P naught A plus Yb by P naught B. So this expression is used to calculate the mole fraction of component A and B in the vapor phase. This is very important. This formula is only used to calculate the total pressure when the mole fractions are given in the vapor phase. Mole fractions are given in the vapor phase. Are you getting my point? Otherwise total pressure is given and partial pressure of pure components A and B given, then we can find the mole fraction in the vapor phase. And P total will be equal to P naught A Xa plus P naught B Xb. This is used to calculate the total pressure when the mole fractions of the liquid phase given. Mole fractions in which phase given? Liquid phase is given. Okay. Now Pa is equal to P total into Ya and Pb equal to P total into Yb. From here also we can directly use this relation. That means the Pa by Pb is equal to Ya by Yb. So Ya by Yb equal to Pa nothing but P naught Xa by Pb nothing but P naught B Xb. So this is a very useful relation. With the help of this relation, we can directly calculate the mole fraction in the vapor phase. mole fraction in the vapor phase, Ya, Yb. If the mole fraction in the liquid phase Xa, Xb given, and the pure vapor pressure of component A and B are also given. Okay, and next one is this formula is used to calculate the mole fraction of, just now I told you, mole fraction of component in the vapor phase, that is Ya, Yb, when the mole fraction of components in the liquid phase Xa, Xb given. And one more important relation between Ya and Yb, that is called Ya plus Yb is equal to 1. And one more important relation between Xa and Xb, that is called Xa plus Xb is equal to 1. Okay, now the relation between the mole fraction of a component of a solution in the liquid phase and vapor phase. What is the relation between the mole fraction of a components in the liquid phase as well as in the vapor phase? Are you getting my point? Now let's suppose consider two components A and B. Okay, in a ideal solution, the mole fraction of component A and B in the vapor phase, in the liquid phase will be Xa and Xb, whereas in the vapor phase it is Ya and Yb. Are you getting my point? Now we know from the Raoult's law, Pa will be equal to P naught Xa and Pb will be equal to P naught Bxb, and P total will be equal to Pa plus Pb. And according to Dalton's law, Ya is equal to Pa by P total, and Yb is equal to Pb by P total, where Pa will be P naught Xa and Pb will be P naught Bxb. Are you getting my point? Take the Ya, that is the mole fraction in the vapor phase, that is equal to Pa by P total. Pa P naught Xa by P total P naught Xa into P naught Bxb. Now what I am doing, instead of Xb, shall I write 1 minus Xa, because I am comparing the mole fraction of component A in vapor phase and mole fraction of component in the solution phase. Okay, after simplification you will get 1 by Ya will be equal to P naught B upon P naught A into 1 upon Xa plus P naught A minus P naught B divided by P naught A. Otherwise bring the 1 by Xa to here and 1 by Ya to the right hand side. So you will get 1 by Xa will be equal to P naught A by P naught B into 1 by Ya plus P naught B minus P naught A by P naught B. If you see, this is in the form of Y is equal to Mx plus C. Okay, now if you see on the y-axis, I am taking 1 upon Xa, on the x-axis I am taking 1 upon Ya. So the straight line, okay, making the slope P naught A by P naught B and having the intercept value on the y-axis, that is nothing but P naught B minus P naught A upon P naught B. Are you getting my point? So this is a objective question. Remember, in the question they give on y-axis 1 upon Xa, on x-axis 1 upon Ya plotted, and what will be the slope of a straight line, that will be P naught A upon P naught B, and what will be the intercept on the y-axis, that will be P naught B minus P naught A upon P naught B. Okay, and one more relation, that will be the relation between the mole fraction of component in the vapor phase and total pressure of the ideal solution. Relation between the mole fraction of components in the vapor phase and the total pressure of a ideal solution. Okay, now here Xa plus Xb equal to 1. Yes, here Xa will be equal to P total by P naught A into Ya, and Xb will be equal to P total by P naught B into Yb. Are you getting my point? From here take the P total common and bring the P total into the right side denominator. So you will get here 1 by P total here. Okay, so 1 by P total will be equal to Ya by P naught A plus Yb by P naught B, and take the LCM here, P naught A into P naught B. So Ya into P naught B plus Yb into P naught A. Again what I am trying to do here, instead of Yb, shall write to, instead of Yb, that is the mole fraction of component B in the vapor phase, Yb will be equal to 1 minus mole fraction of a component in the vapor phase. Yes, that is Ya. So instead of Yb, shall I write here 1 minus Ya. Okay, after simplification you will get the final expression, that will be 1 by P total will be equal to P naught B minus P naught A upon P naught A into P naught B into Ya plus 1 by P naught B. If you observe, it will be in the form of, again, Y is equal to Mx plus C. On the y-axis 1 by P total, on the x-axis what happens? Mole fraction of component A in the vapor phase. X-axis mole fraction of component in the vapor phase, On the y-axis 1 by total pressure. Again you will get a straight line having a slope P naught B minus P naught A upon P naught A into P naught B, and the intercept on the y-axis will be 1 by P naught B. It is also very important question. In the question, if the 1 by P total versus mole fraction of component A in the vapor phase plotted, okay, then what will be the slope of a straight line and what will be the intercept on the y-axis, okay. Now here some questions regarding the liquid type of solutions. Question number 31. The vapor pressure of a pure liquid A 60 mm. That means the vapor pressure of a pure component liquid A, the vapor pressure will be given how much? 60 mm of Hg at 25 degrees. It forms an ideal solution with another liquid B. So there is another liquid B, but the liquid B pure vapor pressure is not given, that is to be calculated, and the mole fraction of component B is given, that will be Xb is given, which is 0.6. Do you know Xa plus Xb equal to 1? With the help of this expression, shall I write the mole fraction of component A will be 1 minus mole fraction of component B. So that's why 1 minus 0.6, that will be 0.4. Okay, and the total pressure, that means P total is given. The P total value given how much? 64 mm. The question is find the vapor pressure of a pure component B. Okay, now from Raoult's law, P total will be equal to, shall I write P naught A Xa plus P naught B into Xb. Okay, now here the total pressure will be 64, P naught A will be 60, Xa value 0.6 and P naught B to be calculated, and what will be the Xa will be 0.4. Xa value will be 0.4 and Xb value 0.6. After simplification of this linear equation, you will get the vapor pressure of a component B in the pure state, that will be 66.66 mm of Hg. Mm of what? Hg. So option number A, first option. Okay. Now question number 32. Two liquids A and B form ideal solution at 300 Kelvin. The vapor pressure of a solution containing 1 mole of A and 4 moles of B will be 550 mm. So let's suppose this is the case 1. Number of moles of A given 1 mole and number of moles of B given how many moles? 4 moles, and the total pressure of the solution is given how much? 550 mm of Hg. 550 mm of Hg. Okay. Now what will be the mole fraction of component A? Number of moles of component A divided by total number of moles of component A and B, that will be 1/5. And what will be the mole fraction of component B? Number of moles of component B upon total moles of component A and component B. Okay. Now what is the total pressure according to Raoult's law? That will be equal to P naught A into Xa plus P naught B into Xb. The question is find the vapor pressure of pure liquid A and B. So P naught A and P naught B we have to find. What is the total pressure given? 550. P naught A, that is to be calculated. Mole fraction of component A 1/5 and P naught B to be calculated, and Xb will be 4/5. So you have a linear equation in between P naught A and P naught B. So what is the equation here? We got P naught A plus 4 into P naught B will be equal to 2750. This is the equation number 1, first equation. Okay, and continuation in the question, 1 mole of a B is taken out from the solution, then the vapor pressure of a solution decreased by how much? 10 mm. So this is the second case. In the second case, what happens? 1 mole of B removed. What we are doing here? 1 mole of a component B is removed. Okay, so how many moles of A will be present? There will be no change in the number of moles of A, 1 mole, but number of moles of B initially 4 moles, but I am removing 1 mole, so the number of moles of B will be left only 3 moles. Then what will be the total pressure? 10 mm decreases. Out of the 550 mm, 10 mm of pressure decreases. So the total pressure after removing of 1 mole of a B will be 540 mm of Hg. Okay. From here, number of moles of A will be 1/4. Mole fraction of A will be 1/4 and mole fraction of B will be 3/4. Here also you will get a one more linear equation. That linear equation will be again P naught A, P total, that will be P total from the Raoult's law. P total will be equal to P naught A XA plus P naught B XB. So P total will be here how much? 540. P naught A to be calculated, XA value 1/4 and P naught B value to be calculated and XB value 3/4. Are you getting my point? From here P naught A plus 3 into P naught B equal to 2160. This is the equation number 2. So 2 unknown and 2 equations. After simplification of equation 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, after simplification you will get the P naught A and P naught B. P naught A that will be equal to 390 mm of Hg and P naught B that will be equal to 590 mm of Hg. 390, 590. So nearest answer will be 400 mm and 600 mm. Okay. Now question number 33. At a certain temperature, the solution of a benzene in toluene exhibit a vapor pressure megabar will be given as a P total will be equal to 150 x plus 65, where x is called what? Mole fraction of benzene. Mole fraction of benzene. Now the question is the vapor pressure of a pure benzene. Suppose for vapor pressure of pure benzene, the mole fraction of benzene should be 1, so that you will get the total vapor pressure that is corresponding to pure benzene only. So here vapor pressure of a benzene, that will be P naught C6H6 will be equal to 150 into mole fraction of benzene, that will be 100% benzene is present. There will be no toluene. Are you getting my point? That will be equal to 215 megabar. Suppose in the question, if the vapor pressure of pure toluene is the question, let's suppose, then put the mole fraction of benzene equal to 0, because benzene is absent, only toluene is present. In that case you will get the 65 megabar, that is the vapor pressure of pure toluene. Are you getting my point? Now the question number 34. In the question number 34, 2 moles of A and 3 moles of B mixed to form a ideal solution of a vapor pressure of pure A and B 120 180 mm, then the composition of A in the vapor phase. Yes. Now here you see what is the number of moles of A given? 2 moles. And number of moles of B given how many moles? 3 moles. What is the mole fraction of A in the solution phase? That will be 2/5. And number of mole fraction of B in the mole fraction of A in the liquid phase 2/5, and mole fraction of B in the liquid phase, that will be 3/5. Are you getting my point? Now what is the pure vapor pressure of component A? That will be 120 mm, and pure vapor pressure of a component B will be 180 mm. Okay. Now let's suppose YA YB mole fraction in the vapor phase. Then we have one relation, that is YA upon YB equal to P naught A into XA upon P naught B into XB. Remember, this is a very very useful relation between the mole fraction of a component in the vapor phase as well as in the liquid phase. So YA mole fraction of component in the vapor phase divided by YB mole fraction of component in the vapor phase will be equal to P naught A, that will be 120 upon P naught B, that will be 180 into XA will be 2/5 and XB will be 3/5. 2/5 upon 3/5. So 5 gets cancelled, 2/3. Are you getting my point? Now here you have mole fraction of component A in the vapor phase divided by component B in the vapor phase, that is YA upon YB will be equal to what? 4/9. And one more important relation we know, that is YA plus YB equal to 1. Sum of the mole fraction either in the liquid state or in the vapor state will be always equal to what? Unity. So we have two equations, so two unknown, so we can easily simplify. So from these two equations, after simplification you will get the mole fraction of component A in the vapor phase, that will be equal to 4/13, which is equal to 0.307. 0.307. So this is a very useful relation between the mole fraction in the vapor phase versus mole fraction in the liquid phase. Okay. Now next question, that will be the question number 35. A solution of 1:4 molar ratio of pentane hexane. Let's suppose pentane component A and hexane component B. Let's suppose. So number of moles upon molar ratio of pentane to hexane is 1:4. That means mole fraction will be Xa upon Xb will be, shall I write 4 upon 5? Shall I write the mole fraction will be equal to 1 upon here the number of moles of component A will be 1 into X, let's suppose, and number of moles of B 4 into X. So 4x number of moles of B, 1x number of moles of A. So I want to find the mole fraction of component A, that will be 1x upon 5x, so 1 by 5. Are you getting my point? Otherwise I am writing like this. So number of moles of component A, let's suppose 1 into X, and number of moles of component A 1x, and number of moles of component B will be 4x. Now come to mole fraction of component A will be 1x by 1x plus 4x 5x, so 1 upon 5, and component B will be 4 upon 5. This is the mole fraction. Okay, and the vapor pressure of pure component A is given as a 440 mm, and the vapor pressure of a pure component B, that will be hexane, is given as a 120 mm. Then find the mole fraction of pentane in the vapor phase. Same concept in the previous, just like in the previous question. Vapor pressure in the mole fraction in the component A and B in the vapor phase will be Ya upon Yb equal to P naught A into Xa upon P naught B into Xb. Okay. Now here Ya upon Yb equal to P naught A 440, P naught B 120, Xa upon 1, Xa value 1 upon 5, Xb 4 upon 5. Are you getting my point? So here you have Ya upon Yb, Ya upon Yb, which is equal to 11 upon 12, which is equal to 11 upon 12. Okay, and one more relation we know, that is Ya plus Yb equal to 1. So two unknown, two linear equations we can simplify. After simplification, the mole fraction of component A in the vapor phase, that will be 11 upon 23, which is nothing but 0.478. 0.478, that is the second option, B option. Okay, and next one, question number 36. In this question number 36, if two substances A and B have P naught A, P naught B ratio given 1:2, and the mole fraction ratio in the solution phase given 1:2, then find the mole fraction of A in the vapor phase. It is similar to the question number 34, 35. Just I am giving the formula, that is Ya upon Yb equal to P naught A into Xa upon P naught B into Xb. Are you getting my point? So you will get the Ya, that is the mole fraction of component in the vapor phase. The answer is directly I am writing 0.2. Okay, practice yourself. And next one, here if you see, here some important concept, completely immiscible liquids. Completely immiscible. Immiscible in the sense insoluble. Immiscible in the sense insoluble liquids. Now generally when two immiscible liquids undergo distillation, what happens? They distill in the ratio of their vapor pressure, at that temperature. Okay, and here according to Dalton's law, the total pressure will be equal to sum of the partial pressure of a liquid A and liquid B, let's suppose. So here for vapor of pure liquids, for vapor of pure liquids we can apply ideal gas equation, that is called PV is equal to what? nRT. We can apply which equation? Ideal gas equation. Let's suppose vapor pressure of a liquid A, that will be P naught A into volume is constant, number of moles Na, R is constant, gas constant, and T will be the absolute temperature. And the liquid B vapor pressure P naught B will be P naught B into volume V equal to number of moles of liquid B in the vapor phase NB or T. Are you getting my point? Now here after simplification you will get the P naught A upon P naught B will be equal to number of moles, that will be Na upon Nb. So this is a very important relation. Okay. Now here how to find the number of moles? Given mass upon molar mass. So liquid A mass upon its molar mass into liquid B mass upon its molar mass. So finally liquid B molar mass upon liquid A liquid B mass I am writing here. Are you getting my point? So this is a very important relation between the vapor pressure of a components versus their masses and molar masses. Okay. Now when A and B are distilled, when A and B are distilled, then their weight ratio will be equal to, that is the WA upon WB will be equal to P naught A upon P naught B into MA upon MB. Yes or no? So this is the direct formula we can use in the numerical. We can use this formula directly in the numerical. Are you getting my point? Now here there are two important numericals regarding the distillation phenomena. Here when a liquid which is immiscible with water was steam distilled at 95.2 degrees Celsius temperature of a total pressure 748 tar, it is distilled. Okay, after distillation 1.25 grams of a liquid per gram of water is obtained. Okay, the vapor pressure of a water is given 640 mm and find the molecular weight of a liquid in gram per mole. Are you getting my point? First of all, what is the total pressure is given at 95.2 degrees Celsius? That will be 748 tar, out of which what is the vapor pressure of a water is given here? 640 mm. That means the remaining pressure will be the vapor pressure of a liquid B. Yes, the what is the vapor pressure of a liquid, pure liquid B, liquid, that will be total 700 and just wait, I am writing total formula. So here the P total will be equal to P naught water plus P naught liquid. From here vapor pressure of a pure liquid will be equal to 748 minus 640, that will be 648. Are you getting my point? So that will be total 748 minus 648. 748 minus, I think this is 640. Here the value should be 648 here. So 648. So say 748 minus of 648, that will be the vapor pressure of a pure liquid will be 100 mm. This will be small correction is there. This will be 648. Are you getting my point? And next, what will be the weight of a liquid? What is the weight of a liquid? That will be 1.25 gram per gram of water. That means the weight of a water is given 1 gram. Okay. Do you know what is the weight of what is the molecular weight of water? That will be 18. The molar mass of water will be how much? 18 gram per mole. Then what will be the molar mass of a liquid? That will be the question mark. And we can I told you what is the relation here, weight and molar masses and vapor pressures. That will be equal to WA upon WB equal to P naught A upon P naught B into MA upon mb. Okay, with this equation we can find the molar mass of a liquid. Weight is nothing but here. What is the weight is given here? For what is the weight here? WA is equal to 1 gram and WB equal to WB, B nothing but let's suppose I am using liquid A and water, so instead of A and B, okay, now here what I am writing, partial pressure of a liquid upon partial pressure of a water equal to number of moles of a liquid upon number of moles of a water. Yes or no? Now number of moles of a liquid nothing but weight of a liquid upon molecular weight of a liquid into molecular weight of a water upon weight of a water. Okay, now here vapor pressure of a liquid 100, vapor pressure of a water will be 648 is equal to weight of a liquid will be 1.25 and the molecular weight of a liquid that is to be calculated, and molar mass of a water 18 and weight of water will be 1 gram. So after simplification the molar mass of a liquid will be equal to 145.8. 145.8, that will be the option number C. Okay, and one more last question is there. It is also regarding distillation phenomena. Now here water and chlorobenzene immiscible liquids and their mixture boils at 89 degrees Celsius under reduced pressure of 7.7 into 10 to the power 4 Pascal. That means the P total is given. The total pressure will be given 7.7 into 10 to the power 4 Pascal. Okay, and the vapor pressure of a pure water. What is the vapor pressure of a pure water? 7 into 10 raised to 4 Pascal. Okay, just now I told you the P total will be equal to sum of the partial pressure of two components. So here the partial pressure of chlorobenzene plus partial pressure of vapor pressure water. So from here what is the vapor pressure of chlorobenzene? That will be equal to 0.7 into 10 to the power 4 Pascal. Are you getting my point? Now here vapor pressure of water upon vapor pressure of chlorobenzene will be directly equal to number of moles of water upon number of moles of chlorobenzene. Okay, now the weight of water divided by molecular weight of water multiplied by molecular weight of chlorobenzene divided by weight of chlorobenzene. Weight of chlorobenzene. Are you getting my point? Now here what is the vapor pressure of water is given? That will be nothing but 7 into 10 raised to 4 upon chlorobenzene, that will be 0.7 into 10 raised to 4, which is equal to weight of water divided by molecular weight of water 18. What is the molecular weight of chlorobenzene? That will be molecular weight of a chlorobenzene, that will be 112.5 whole divided by weight of a chlorobenzene unknown. Okay, from here weight of water divided by weight of chlorobenzene will be equal to 1.6. Now what I am doing, I am adding 1 on both sides, plus 1 on both sides. So 1 plus weight of water upon weight of chlorobenzene will be equal to 1 plus 1.6, 2.6. LCM, after taking the LCM you will get weight of water plus weight of chlorobenzene whole divided by weight of chlorobenzene, okay, is equal to 2.6. In the question is percentage composition, percentage weight composition of chlorobenzene. So first of all in the numerator we have to write the weight of chlorobenzene. So I am reciprocaling numerator denominator, weight of chlorobenzene upon weight of chlorobenzene plus weight of water, which is equal to 1 upon 2.6, 1 by 2.6. Okay, and the percentage is the question. Percentage of chlorobenzene weight percentage. So here weight of chlorobenzene divided by weight of chlorobenzene into weight of water. Percentage is always multiplied with what? 100. So you will get 38.46 percentage. 38.46 percentage. Are you getting my point? 38.46 percentage. This is the fourth option. Okay. And one more last question. Based on the given diagram, which of the following homogeneous solution of two volatile liquids is correct? Okay, the first one, plot AB. That means plot AB and BC shows the Raoult's law that is obeyed for the solution in which B is a solvent and and the solute A. Solute here A. The solute is what? Solute is A. Otherwise, A is solvent and B is solute. Okay, so you can take A is a solvent, B is a solute. Otherwise, A is a solute, B is a solvent. Are you getting my point? So that is the correct statement. And the next one, plot CD. Plot CD. What is the plot CD? This is the plot C. This is corresponding to total pressure. Yes, that is followed by Raoult's law. Are you getting my point? This graph CD corresponding to P total. P total will be equal to PA plus PB. Are you getting my point? So statement B is also correct. And come to the next statement C. Statement C, EF plus EG. E to F. This is the distance E to F plus E to G. E to G will be equal to E to H. Actually, it is not related to scale. Okay. Now what is the meaning of EF? What is the meaning of EF? E to F corresponding to pressure of component A. Partial pressure of component A. Are you getting my point? And next come to E to G. E to G. That means E to G. This is corresponding to pressure of component B. Pressure of component B at a particular composition. Okay. Now E to H. E to H is nothing but the algebraic sum of the partial pressure of a component A and component B. Algebraic sum of a partial pressure of component A and component B. So EH is equal to EF plus EG. That means statement C is also correct. So answer will be all of these. Answer will be